Welcome back to Pioneer Sideline, episode 162, coming at you here live from the University Center here on campus. Now the women, they're in action in their first KIAC tournament. We're going to take you out to CCAC South to see the score of their first playoff game, the third meeting now between Carlo and Point Park University. And once again, the Pioneers will come out victorious in this one over the Carlo Celtics, defeating them for a third time this season. 3-0, the Pioneers go against the Celtics, winning in this quarterfinal matchup by a final score of 54-44. Shartner with 13 points, 10 boards. McFadder 14 points, 9 boards, and Austin with 10 points. And you see on the other side of the ball, not really too much in the way of scoring. Barry only 14 points. We're bringing our women analyst here, Kyle Anthony. Kyle, the Pioneers, we thought it'd be a tough test against Carlo, but once again, the Pioneers found a way to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely a game for a little bit, but they were able to come out, do what they do best, and able to get the victory over a very tough Carlo team.
Carlo, once again, a very tough team. That's a third time this year the Pioneers were able to defeat their crosstown rival. How big is that for the Pioneers to not only win their first playoff game in the KIAC as the top-ranked seed, but to also defeat a very tough rival?
Well, I mean, it's definitely a big thing because, I mean, that's the kind of teams you want to beat, the teams that you rivalry against, the team you're going to see multiple times a year. I mean, this is a very underrated Carlo team, and it could have been a trap game multiple times, but they were able to come up and get the victories.
Pioneers were able to get it done. They were off to the semifinals off at the campus of Indiana University Southeast. We're going to take you out there to New Albany, Indiana. The Pioneers taking on basically the home team in Indiana University Southeast here. You see them coming out of the huddle there, and the Pioneers would get this one started off well. You see there Davis gets it over to Shartner. Shartner lobs into McFadder. McFadder with the drive and the bucket there for the Pioneers, and it's going to keep going there again. The Pioneers with another drive by McFadder. And the Pioneers would just keep it going, really taking it to the IU Southeast Grenadiers. There you see Katrisa Savitsky getting on, but IU Southeast wins just roll over. Courtney Woods gets a nice little bucket up and in. But really, this game was the Point Park Pioneers 100%. You see there on the far side of the court, Emily Shartner drills the three. But once again, IU Southeast, they would try to stay in it here as Anisha Wood would drive it into the lane, bank it off the window and in. A nice little play there, but just the Pioneers, too much of them. They just keep it going there. As you see there, another drive to the lane there by the Pioneers, and it's, why not? Let's just keep it going here. A drive to the lane on the baseline with April Austin and the Pioneers, and the foul there as well. So the Pioneers just ran all over IU Southeast in this one. 76-51 the final. There you see Shartner with 13, McFadder with 18, 23 from Austin, 8 points, 12 boards from Savitsky. Pioneers rolling along, and this is a team they went 2-0 against and now 3-0 against after defeating them in all three matchups here, Kyle. You're starting to sense a trend here.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely shows that this team, they learn from each matchup they have against the teams they played multiple times. I mean, they learned different things from playing Carlo. They improved on them each time, and they did the same thing with IU Southeast.
And then you look at it there, the Pioneers are basically playing a road game as the #1 team going against the #5 seed in the KIAC tournament here, Kyle. How real big is it to really be thrown really out of your comfort zone, being the #1 seed, having to go on the road playing the #5 team at their home gym?
I mean, it's definitely a big thing because it's a game where you know you're not going to have many fans. I mean, you might have some parents travel up, but you're not going to have the student section. IU Southeast, I mean, they're bringing the whole school there, but you were able to get the big victory. I mean, that's just a big thing for momentum.
Pioneers would move on to the conference finals, trying to win a conference title for the second year in a row as they won the AMC last year. They're trying to win the KIAC here. We're going to take you right back out to New Albany, Indiana, where the Pioneers tried to seal the deal against Asbury University, and the Pioneers trying to do it again as the Pioneers would get it started here. You see them coming out in the warm-ups, and they're going to get it started off early. There you see Shartner with the jumper. She drills it for the Pioneers. Now bring it right back as Austin. Austin to McFadder driving the lane up and off the glass. A nice little pretty play there. The Pioneers once again. Far side corner. It's Shartner for three. And the Pioneers are starting to run away with this one. But Asbury try to keep it close here. Laura Carroll, their all-time leading scorer at Asbury, would get it on the act. And then they bring it back here with Barbie bouncing off to Dorian down. So Asbury, you know, there's a little fight them. They're trying to get that conference title. But the Pioneers just a little bit too much here. Savitsky banks it off the window there on the baseline. You see there 2:16 left. Pioneers up by 9. They're feeling it. They're getting fired up. But Asbury trying to find a way to keep it alive. As you see there, you're going to see Wood drive it up and in, but just too little, too late from Asbury. The Pioneers win the conference title again.
You know, this is what we're accustomed to. This is what we want to reach for every year, is try to make a national tournament. You know, when we won the outright conference regular season title, you know, I mean, were we excited? A little bit, but, you know, there's more to go. And we're still playing. We're going to be playing in the month of March. And when you're playing college basketball in March, you're doing something right. And
the final score of that one is going to be the Pioneers 67, Asbury 58. And you see everybody getting in on the act there, Kyle. Shartner with 11 points, McFadder with 20, Savitsky with 12, Davis with 16 points and 8 boards. And the Pioneers win their second conference title in as many seasons. Now, this is the first year in the KIAC as they won last year in the AMC. But, Kyle, you got to look at the Pioneers. They came out. They were supposed to finish third overall. They finished first in the regular season and then go off and win the conference title in their first season, really sending a message to the KIAC that they're here to stay.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely showed that they were able to compete against anyone. I mean, they were picked third, but this is a team that knew they could finish first with all the talent they had returning from last year's team. So, I mean, this was something that they expected to do.
And then we saw the emergence of the offense in the conference semis and the finals here, Kyle. We saw them dormant a little bit in the last couple weeks, but the defense really carried them. In that conference semifinal and the final, the offense, they kicked into another gear, and they found a way to get everybody in on the scoring act.
Yeah, I mean, their defense was good, only holding Asbury, having one of their starters have double figures, but their offense came out having 4 of their starters for Point Park in double figures. I mean, that's just awesome. I mean, Janine McFadder, she's been on fire lately. I mean, everyone kind of stepped up and kind of took the weight away from some of the players we usually see score a lot.
Pioneers qualified for the national tournament for the second year in a row by the automatic bid. They'll be playing Indiana Wesleyan in the first round. And Kyle, you look at the Pioneers now, they're starting to become a national powerhouse here under Coach Tony Gregg. In 2 years, he has taken them to 2 straight NAI national tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, Tony Gregg's done a great job kind of turning this program around, kind of showing that they're a powerhouse to be reckoned with every year, being able to go to the tournament.
Pioneers now, last year they fell in the first round, maybe a little in awe of the situation. Now they have a lot of veterans coming back this year. They know what it's like out in Sioux City, Iowa, in the Tyson Event Center, expecting a capacity crowd there for their first matchup there in the first round. So definitely you expect them to really maybe even push it a little bit further this year.
Yeah, I mean, with all the people they have coming back from last year's team, I mean, this is a team you have to expect to kind of play a little different than they did last year, a little more confidence, a little more experience. I mean, definitely a much better game.
The Pioneers travel off to Sioux City, Iowa, and try to win the national title after winning their first ever conference title in the KIAC here. We're going to take one more short commercial break and be back with Phil Novosik and break down baseball action. Spring is in the air, and baseball is back as well. You're watching the Pioneer Sideline here on UView.